When looking at floor soundproofing, it's best probably to start off with a tab marked Floor Soundproofing. When you're looking to do some floor soundproofing, you have to make a few decisions. The first and most important decision is what noise you're trying to stop. Is it noise coming from below, or is it trying to stop your noise coming down from above? And that's broken down into two components. One's called impact sound and the other one is called airborne sound. Impact sound is typically the sound of you walking around on the floor, and airborne sound is more associated with TV, talking and loud music. The other issue you have to think about is floor height build-up. Are you prepared to build your floor up, and if so, to what level? The third most important point is labour intensity. Floor soundproofing can be done above the floor or it can be done below the floor. If you do it below the floor, you have to think about raising all the floorboards in a room, which is a pretty labour intensive task. We've tried to split our floor soundproofing into different categories. So starting from the top, we have those people who wish to soundproof their floor but not raise their floorboards. This is a lot less labour intensive but does involve raising the floor height a little by about 15 to 20 mil. We then have people who don't wish to raise the height of their floor, so they wish to do all the soundproofing below the floor. This involves lifting floorboards up. We also have a solution for people who are looking to lay laminate floors or engineered floors, and the solution for this is a high quality rubber mat that goes underneath the laminate floor. We also have people who want to start from scratch, and these would typically be people who are putting down a new floor and they may wish to float it. And finally, we've got customers who are looking to reduce the impact sound they're generating. They're worrying about the impact sound they may be generating for their neighbour below. If we look at these all in a bit more detail, let's look at the solution which is not raising the floorboards. We have a product which we call DB board, and DB board is a sand filled board which can be laid over the floor. This is a German product and it's an award-winning product for reducing both impact and airborne sound. This product can be laid very simply and easily in boards over the existing floorboards, and it can be augmented with the use of a thing called TechSound membrane. It's worth pointing out that each set of solutions has a table associated with them, and it's important to recognise that in that table there's a figure for the airborne uplift that you will achieve and the impact uplift you will achieve. If you're looking to improve the airborne, i.e. stopping sound coming up from below, for example, it's important that you choose a solution with a high number. The higher the number the better for airborne uplift. If you're looking to reduce your impact sound, then look for the higher the number the better for impact sound. And if it's both things you're trying to cope with, it's important to look for a high number of both. The second of our solutions is a below the floorboard treatment. This would involve you lifting your floorboards up. We have two solutions here, one where you are introducing acoustic mineral wool under the floor and also introducing a TechSound membrane again. And we also have a solution which involves putting acoustic mineral wool, plasterboard and TechSound membrane. Perhaps a word about the TechSound membrane now. TechSound membrane is a very heavy acoustic membrane which will go underneath the floor and improve very significantly the airborne sound which is passing between the surfaces. The next area of floor soundproofing we look at is the problem of laminate or engineered floors. Typically, engineered or laminate floors will give off a lot of impact sound, particularly to the people who live below a flat with that installed. We recommend the use of an isosonic rubber mat. This is really very effective at reducing the impact sound that the floor generates without the floor feeling spongy or squashy in any way at all. Again, this solution can be augmented by the use of TechSound 50 if you're wishing to upgrade the airborne sound which might be passing between the two floors. A word about those starting from scratch. We have a solution which will allow you to float a floor on top of your existing joists, again using mineral wool, and in this case we float the floor with an acoustic joist cap. The benefit of this system over a proprietary branded system such as Monofloor is that we are increasing the airborne sound transmission qualities of the floor as well as the impact sound transmission qualities of the floor, while not using so much floor height build-up as we're not floating the floor directly onto the existing floorboards. This again can be augmented by the use of TechSound 50, which again will reduce the airborne sound between the floor layers. And finally, a word on rubber mats. We sell a rubber mat which is very similar to other products on the market. In fact, the performance spec is the same as a better known brand name. A word on acoustic rubber mats. We find in general that these are very good at reducing impact sound, but actually the performance on the airborne sound side of things, i.e. the sound coming up from below, often isn't quite as good as you'd hope. And for this reason, we recommend some of our other solutions at reducing airborne sound rising from below, as this is an expensive way of treating a floor just if your problem is airborne sound from below. So in summary, when you're making a choice for floor soundproofing, it's important for you to think about whether you can raise your floor or not raise your floor, what your problem is, whether it's airborne sound or is it impact sound, and finally, how much labour intensity do you want to go to. If you wish to purchase any of our solutions, it's very straightforward. You simply click on a calculator like this, and it'll bring up an area. You simply put the dimensions of your room in, press the add button, and press calculate. If you add this to your basket and buy now, you'll find that you can choose your delivery date, and that delivery date normally starts from 48 hours out, but you can choose whatever date you want from then. Have a look at the solutions which are available in more detail by clicking any one of those tabs. We are open from 9 to 5 Monday to Friday and are happy to answer any questions you have on floor soundproofing.